I'm gonna land the
through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Before we set out, just a couple things to keep in mind. Please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck at all times and remain seated. Keep a good grip on all of your personal belongings. This can be a bumpy ride that can't stop the truck to retrieve anything that might fall out. And please, for the safety and courtesy of those aboard, we'll ask that you keep your face coverings on for the length of our safari. That is out of the way. We're going to get underway. We're going to start our safari by heading through the Little Ituri Forest. You already see some activity ahead to the left. So there are 3 slightly tan-colored animals. Those are greater kudus. You'll see that they do not have horns on their heads. That means they are females. Only the male greater kudu has horns. Also farther back along the hill, you'll see some red-brown animals with horns. Those are known as bongos. Also nicknamed the ghosts of the forest, as they are rarely seen. They prefer dense, deep parts of the jungle. A couple more over there to the left. And they actually will polish their horns against the trunks of trees and bamboo stalks. You might catch a view of some zebra-like striped legs over there to the right, kind of behind the bamboo. That is an okapi, the closest living relative to the giraffe. Now, if you look on top of this hill to the right over there, there is a saddle-billed stork. Very tall, brightly colored bird. Saddle-billed storks can stand up to 5 feet tall with a 9-foot wingspan. Leave the forest behind for now and have a look through the Sambi River Gorge. Now, animals are coming to the Sambi River for a number of reasons. Many species are looking to get food from the river. Some of them are eating fish, crustaceans, reptiles, or aquatic vegetation. Other species are coming to the river in order to socialize with other members of their groups or to stay cool throughout the long, hot days. And you may find that many species enjoy making their nests along the banks of the river. And over to the right, you will see a younger Nile hippo. Now, Nile hippos can get up to 5,500 pounds in weight. And for most of the day, they'll stay in the water. That is to avoid overheating. They like to come out when it's nice and cool, particularly at night, in order to graze. They are eating grass, about 80 to 90 pounds of it in a single day. We'll be seeing some large-billed birds on the island, as well as moving about the water. You'll be looking at pink-backed pelicans. They do get a slightly pink coloration to their backsides during the breeding season. And like many pelican species, they are colonial nesters. So when they are ready to make their nests, they are going to form colonies, 20 to 500 mated pairs in size, and it's going to be that large colony size that can act as a deterrent from predators, keeping them and their offspring safe. Now, if you look over to the left on the bank of the river, those are Nile crocodiles. Largest species of crocodilians in Africa. They'll get up to 16 feet in length, and they can weigh up to 500 pounds. Now, they primarily eat fish, but they will take pretty much any animal to cross their path. That could be a zebra, the occasional lion. They also have been known to attack humans. Now, a really easy way to tell the difference between a crocodile and an alligator is to look at them both when their mouths are closed. Because when an alligator has its mouth closed, you'll see only the top row of teeth. But you'll see more teeth on a crocodile when their mouths are closed. You'll see the top teeth as well as some of the bottom teeth. So if you remember that crocodiles have ancient fingerprints, should be good to identify them.
Cool, huh?
We're going to have a look now on the savanna, where a really important adaptation for survival is the conservation of water. And that goes for the plants too. So actually on your right, you see that really large bulky tree. That is called a baobab tree. And they are very good at conserving water. They'll actually go for up to 9 months out of the year without leaves in order to save water, and they can actually store that water inside their trunk, up to several hundred gallons of it. Now during the dry season, some animals can actually use the baobab tree as an emergency source of water by piercing the trunk of it with horns or tusks if they have them. On an ecosystem like the savanna, all the animals participate in shaping their landscape. For example, giraffes with their great height are able to prune the undersides of trees, which can help the trees grow taller and stronger. Then when elephants move through the area, they'll knock some of those trees down, which can provide another source of food for shorter animals who can now get to the tops of the trees once they've been knocked down. Predators also have their really important roles in the ecosystem, and they're over to the left, just over these bushes. You will see African painted dogs, also known as African wild dogs. Keep up with them.
African wild dogs.
Now, every one of them has a unique coloration to their coats, and that's actually how the pack will identify their individual members.
Pretty they are.
Is by their unique colorations, and they are also the most successful predators of large mammals in Africa. One reason why they are such capable hunters is their stamina. They are able to chase prey for many, many miles in order to exhaust it. Over to the left, lying down, you will see sable antelope. And they have those really long, curved horns, which can be used as defense from predators like lions, who may actually try to jump on their backs in order to pull them to the ground. So if they rear their heads back, they can deliver a really powerful blow with those horns. Coming up on the left, you'll see this odd-looking structure there. That is a termite mound.
Oh, wow.
Now, termite mounds are very, very hard and solid like concrete. And actually, taller animals like giraffes and elephants will actually use termite mounds as scratching posts, wearing them down over time, creating smaller mounds that shorter animals are able to climb on top of and use as kind of like a lookout post, just in case there are any predators nearby. Now, on the right, these really small antelopes are known as springbok, and they are fully grown. That's as big as they get. Now, they are the national animal of South Africa, and they are well named because they are able to spring into the air about 6 feet straight up, or if they're running forward, they can actually jump 13 feet across in a single jump. And because of their athleticism, a lot of sports teams in South Africa will use them as their mascots. Oh, as well as that really large horned animal far over to the right. That's an Nkole cattle, also called the Watusi cattle. It's the only domesticated species living on the reserve. A bunch of zebras over here to the right as well. Now, every zebra has a unique striped pattern to their bodies, very much like how every single human being's fingerprints are unique to them. Couple more Nkole cattle that are over to the right. Now, when you look at those really massive horns, they are actually filled with blood vessels. Now, blood will pass up into their horns and release excess body heat before recirculating, allowing them to manage their body temperature really well. And then on the left over here is a group of giraffes. Giraffes is known as a tower. Now, giraffes are the tallest land animals in the world, and they have excellent vision. So they can spot predators coming from a long distance away, which means they don't like to lie down or sit down very often, because that would remove that really good advantage that they have. So they'll do most of their daily behaviors while standing, which includes sleeping. And they actually only need to sleep for about 30 minutes a day. On the left, you will see a really large species of monkey known as mandrills.
There he is.
Now,
Way back
mandrills
there.
are actually the largest species of monkey in the world.
Yes.
There's a couple of them moving around. Now, they have really large canine teeth, which they can actually use to defend themselves. But occasionally, they'll show their teeth to one another, which is almost like a human smile. It's a sign of familiarity and sociability. I did see some movement over to the right. Let's see what's over here. Yeah, you're looking at an African elephant over there to the right. Now you'll see part of him has a discoloration that's actually from sand and dirt that he's thrown onto himself. They'll do that throughout the day as a way to protect their sensitive skin from sunburn. Now I said he because it looks like there's no other elephants in the area, so that's likely a male. Usually African elephant males become solitary when they reach maturity, or you'll sometimes find them in smaller all-male groups. But we're going to keep an eye out for more elephants ahead because it looks like we're entering elephant country. Now, another really interesting fact about elephants is that they are really afraid of bees. Even if they just hear the buzzing of bees, they are going to keep away. They do not like bees. Now, that knowledge is being used to help out a conflict that sometimes happens between farmers and elephants in Africa, which is when elephants wander onto farmland, they can be really destructive to those crops by trampling on them. Which is kind of what elephants do. They're not really trying to be destructive, but they are really large, really heavy. Well, that does present some problems for the farmers because when those crops are damaged, it can hurt their livelihood as well as kind of damage the food supply in the area. So to help out, the Elephant Bee Project is teaching farmers how to take care of bees, and they're helping them to set up beehive fences on the borders of their farmlands. Now that's going to keep the elephants away without harming them. The crops will be safe and protected from being trampled on, and the farmers can sell some of the honey that the bees make for an additional profit, which is really cool. Everybody benefits in that situation, and that's a solution that's very much in the spirit of conservation. Looks like there's some more elephants over to the left. Now, elephants have a matriarchal society. So they are led by their females. Leader of a herd is known as the matriarch. She tends to be the oldest female member of the herd. So she's going to have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience about how the seasons change on the savannah. She'll know how the seasons change. She'll know when the herd should move on or when the herd should stay put, as well as where good sources of water and food are. The rest of the herd are females, offspring, and there's usually just one male in the herd known as the bull, and he is the one who's able to feed the females. On the left is a flamboyance. We call it a group of flamingos a flamboyance. And these are greater flamingos, the lightest pink of all the flamingo species. Some of them have hatched only a couple of months ago, so they're not fully pink yet. That comes through their diet. So over time, they're eating very, very small, almost microscopic crustaceans in the water, some of which are containing beta-carotene. And it's beta-carotene in abundance, which turns their whole bodies pink. Even their eyes will turn pink.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Papa.
Looks like a really large mud pit over to the the left with some pretty sizable footprints around it. So we're going to be on the lookout for white rhinos in the area. As they know, they do like to go actually over to the right. You can see a couple of ostriches. I'm going to go slowly by. Largest and heaviest species of bird in the world. They are flightless, but they will actually use their wings to help them steer as they run. So that was pretty cool. Don't often see ostriches around these parts. See ostriches. We're going to keep our eyes open for rhinos as we move forward. There are a couple of cheetahs. One's moving about, one's lying on the ground. Now, cheetahs are the fastest land animals in the world. They can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. It takes a lot of energy for them to be able to run, so they try to capture prey as quickly as possible before they get too tired to run. When you look at their faces, you'll see that they have those black teardrop-like facial markings, which will actually help to keep the glare from the sun out of their eyes when they hunt. That way they maintain good visibility of their prey. Now up ahead, this distinctive rock formation is known as a copie. Copies are great places for lions to hang around. It gives them a nice view of their savanna. Now lions do typically sleep for roughly 16 to 20 hours a day. If you look back on the left, on top of those two rocks there, look for the ears. I will need everyone to please remain seated though. Thank you. Now lions do typically sleep for 16 to 20 hours every day. It's very typical for them. And the females do the hunting for the pride, and they'll do that at night. Also over to the right is a bondibok. 2 of them actually. They are related to wildebeest. They were actually nearly extinct about 100 years ago. There are only 17 of them left. Thanks to conservation efforts, though, their population is recovering. Looks like we're going to get another view of the lions over to the left. Also on the highest rock, I do see the male. Now the male's really easy to spot because of that mane of fur that he has. Now that fur is not only attractive to the females, it also provides some protection, because when the males are competing with each other, sometimes they will bite one another in the neck. So that fur is a nice protection for them. Now I mentioned they hunt at night. During the day, lions' vision is about as good as a human being's, but at night their vision is 6 times stronger than ours. You can actually see a couple of warthogs there over to the left as I slowly go by. And actually these are their burrows over here as well. Now they do dig their burrows using their snouts, their tusks, and their hooves. They'll either dig their own burrows or they will repurpose burrows from other animals. And then when they back into them, their tusks are going to be facing out. That way they can always be ready to defend themselves just in case they have to. We saw those ostriches before. Now they're also far, 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 far back, farther than you think, back on the right. All the way back there. There are some animals looking at us. Those are water bucks. Water bucks are a bit of oddities on the savanna, as they don't like to move around very often. In fact, once they find a source of water, they tend to stay in and around it their whole lives. And they have oily secretions to their fur, which actually will kind of make them waterproof. It also has a distinctive smell, which works as an insect repellent, and it also allows other water bugs in the area to locate each other, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Alright, friends, it looks like our safari is coming to an end. Hopefully, though, your journey with wild things and wild places doesn't end here. Don't forget to keep looking for and learning more about different animals throughout the rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Especially when you head home, there will be animals sharing the land with you, also calling it home. You can respect them and learn about their lives too. When it comes to the wild places of the world, there's all sorts of things that we can do in our daily lives that can add up to a really big change and a really big difference. For one thing, we can recycle our electronic devices, particularly our cell phones, when they don't work or we're not using them anymore. In order to make a really of the components that go in your cell phone, computer, gaming console, they have to mine a mineral ore in Africa called coltan. And unfortunately, coltan mining can be very destructive to the habitats of gorillas, elephants, and rhinos. But the great news is we can recycle it, and in doing so, we can reduce the need for further extensive mining, which is great. We can also switch to reusable straws instead of using disposable plastic straws when we go out, and that can be a great way to help cut down on plastic waste entering our waterways. Now they are cleaning and sanitizing the trucks ahead of us. We are going to hold here while they finish doing that. Thank everybody for your patience. Now, if anybody else is looking for animals throughout your day here, you can check out the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. There are 2 groups of gorillas that live in that area. There's a bachelor group as well as a family group. There's also underwater hippo viewing. You can also catch a view of some more zebras as well as meerkats and naked mole rats, which are fantastic animals. And that will close at 4:30, so plan accordingly. And then if any of you are headed over to Asia later on, or if you've already been there and you want to go back, right behind Kali River Rapids is the Maharaja Jungle Trail. And on the Maharaja Jungle Trek, you can check out one of my favorite animals, the Komodo dragon, largest species of lizard in the world. There's also giant Asian fruit bats, which are a fantastic species to learn more about.